Chapter 21, Roberto. The professor thanked her and hung up the phone. The cat had perked up only one ear after the conversation, the other was directed at the window and the street below. Azer inquired, "Who is Roberto?" He rephrased the question, "I mean, what does he do?" The professor responded, "Roberto is a young and exceptionally talented Swedish painter. He lives with Annabella." It seemed strange that a guy who was a painter, and not into computers, should be able to solve the problem. But on the other hand, it was better than nothing. Trying to clarify, Azer said, "Roberto sounds Italian." The professor explained, his dad was Italian, but Roberto was born and raised in Gothenburg, Sweden. He's one of those young artists who come to Berlin to develop their talent. He moved here a few years back, met Annabella, and started looking for work. That's when I helped him start his own business. After a brief pause, he continued, "I meet all sorts of people as a doctor. Many of my patients are elderly and have serious illnesses. Some of them bring a few paintings to the clinic and ask me to help them sell them. They trust me, and I want to help. My secretary handles the logistics at the clinic. I give the paintings to her, and she takes them to Roberto to find buyers." Curious, Azer inquired, "What kind of paintings are they?" The professor replied, "Usually, they're old paintings that people have hidden since World War II. They avoid auction houses on purpose. In Germany, when a painting goes up for public auction, journalists start digging into its history, looking for its owner from before the war. If they succeed, they often make unpleasant accusations against the seller in the media." He added, "A few years ago, an elderly man in Munich tried to sell such a painting. It turned out his apartment was filled with about 1,500 pieces from artists like Picasso, Matisse, Chagall, Goya, Velázquez, and others." Finishing his tea, Azer asked, "Are we going to visit Roberto in his workshop?" The professor nodded, saying, "Yes, we should pay him a visit." He grinned and continued, "Although it's not exactly a workshop, it's more like a studio in the Chaos Republic." Azer was intrigued, "Where's the Chaos Republic?" The professor replied, "I thought you might know. The place is often discussed in the media. It's an old industrial area the city wanted to demolish, but some creative young folks took over the factory buildings, turning them into workshops. They've managed to fend off several demolition attempts so far." Impressed, Azer said, "That sounds cool." He added, "I've got my motorbike. If you give me the address, I can head there right away." The professor shook his head, "You won't find it on a map. I'll have to come with you, otherwise, they won't let you in, if you manage to find the place." Glancing at the rain outside, he said, "Give me a couple of minutes to get ready." After a moment, he returned and said, "Let's go." Azer glanced at the professor, who was now dressed in a black leather outfit. With a leather helmet on his head and old-fashioned round goggles perched on his forehead, he looked just like a Japanese kamikaze pilot from World War II.